It's the mom life.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Living in the Moment with B.
And Steph. Hi, guys. Happy Monday.
Yeah. And we are in April. We have made it to April, y'all.
Almost Monday the
Oh,
31st. So tomorrow.
almost.
Tomorrow is April 1st. Close enough.
Well, yeah, close enough. We made it. April Fools. Just
Yeah.
kidding, guys.
And the weather has actually gotten really nice. Coincidentally, B and I ran into each other at the zoo yesterday. And we were just before we started recording talking about how it was so hot. And so I'm so happy because the weather is finally getting nicer.
Yes, and we can go out and do things and exercise. Steph and I have a goal this spring/summer on where we want to be. But yeah, we read.
We have ongoing goals, guys. We always talk about
We never
them. We are
stop.
always, I mean, but that's like the spice of life, right? You always got to have a goal, always got to be working on yourself. And so I think it's
So,
good.
and I told my husband because I was like, I ran into Steph. He's like, yeah. You guys planned it. That's why you wanted to go to the zoo. I'm like, no.
But we did
It
it.
was
We're just
just
on the same wavelength.
yes, and it was just a warm day. Like it's like we needed to stretch our legs. But let me tell you, by the time I was done with that zoo, I was done. Like JJ just
Oh,
ran
yeah.
through the whole thing. I was exhausted. I was sweating. I was like, please, I hope I lost a pound at least. And
It was actually, yeah, really hot. And Maddie, too. I mean, she has fun because she likes to be outside, but I feel like her vision, depth is not
oh, she's
sharp
younger.
enough
Yeah.
yet to see like the animals that far away unless they're like big. So we focused on the big stuff that you can see really close, the elephants, the giraffes, the penguins, and she has fun with that stuff. But yeah, it's still a lot for them, so she only lasted a couple hours and then we went to lunch.
Yep, that's
Which is perfect, fine by me, because like I said, it was really hot.
yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. I'm loving the spring. Like you said, it's almost April. I thought it was April already. You see, I'm getting ahead of myself. But it's almost April. And
Tomorrow,
then it's
yeah.
Easter and the holiday seasons begin all over again, y'all.
Bee's favorite. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, today we are talking about kind of a bunch of different things, but the idea that this stemmed from was our kids are both Bluey kids, and I think maybe even Maddie a little more. Have you seen every episode of the show?
No, so I was actually going to say, so our topic is going to be toddler like gender expectations, and we actually started the conversation with Bluey. So JJ is not a Bluey fan. He
Okay.
started like I thought he was going to be a Bluey fan. We
Yeah,
watched
I
it.
remember. I thought he had been starting to watch it.
Yep, nope, over it, not into it. It's not his thing. And I didn't even find out till after he was over Bluey. He probably watched Bluey like one day and I was like, "Oh my god, he's going to be a Bluey guy because our entire toddler group is they're Bluey fans."
Yeah.
Nope, not a Bluey guy. But then I found out Bluey was a girl and I didn't know that. I didn't know watching that.
Yeah. So there, oh my gosh, I ride it Dawn for Bluey. Like I love Bluey. This is not a Bluey bash episode, but it's definitely a little niche in that Bluey is very controversial. And it would be surprising to, and I'll just tell you, and maybe people that don't know, it's a very wholesome show. It's very, what's the word? Not overstimulating. I know sometimes a lot of these shows for kids can be very overstimulating, and it's not that at all. Um, and the basis of it is just a family, a little girl and her family, and they just I think that it captures such a large audience from babies to kids to adults. There's adult Bluey fans out there because it's very real. Like a lot of the emotions that the family has in it and a lot of the little situations that they go through are real. There's an episode about miscarriage, and granted, they're not saying this, point blank, like you have to draw the conclusion, and that's where I think the adult aspect of it comes in. But there's an episode about miscarriage and infertility. um, there's body image issues that are brought up amongst the parents, none of this with the kids. There is uh, infertility that's brought up with one of the aunts. Kids have divorced parents. Kids have parents that are deployed. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and so Bluey overall is focused on the writers, or stems from the writers' experiences with his two daughters, as a dad, and that's where he got a lot of his inspiration from. But yeah, one thing that a lot of people don't know or are maybe surprised about is that Bluey is a girl. And it's not brought up a lot of the time, but in most of the episodes, I think there's only a couple that you actually see it, where even her uncle is like, "Oh yeah, I see him," and she's like, "I'm a girl," and he's like, "Well, you're blue," and so yeah, I don't think it's meant to be like this um
So I did
huge
read.
focal point of the show, but they are sisters.
Yes, it's two little girls and their parents, and Bluey's the main character. She's the older sister, and I did read that the writers, it is based off of his experiences, but that he wanted to challenge gender, and he wanted to make basically like a little hero that everyone can look up to without realizing that it's a little girl because she is blue. And since I was a little girl, I loved Blue. So at first, I didn't know Bluey was a little girl. I thought it was a little boy, because you see Bluey in all the boy sections. Like if you go to Target or Walmart or wherever you go shopping for boy clothes, Bluey's painted on a lot of the clothes. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just assumed, and the same thing, Blue, even though I was a little girl who loved blue. I'm September, so my birthstone is sapphire, and my whole room is blue. Like I'm just a blue kind of girl. I'm even wearing blue today. But yeah, I was shocked, and I really wanted JJ to like it because I've heard raving reviews from so many moms. He didn't end up liking it, and that's okay. There's nothing bad. But when I found out later, I was just like kind of stunned because I really thought it was a boy. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of parents angry from a lot of the again, Bluey's controversial, and one of the big controversies is that she's a girl and they are putting, girls on boys' clothes. But exactly like you said, why make it a gender issue? And any clothes for kids, they're babies, they're kids, they can like what they like. And if a little girl wants to wear a shirt with a T-Rex or a monster truck, like, it doesn't matter. That's what they like. They're so innocent and so little, and there doesn't have to be any weird gender ideals behind
Well,
it.
and I think maybe the idea was wholesome, but because there's so much gender controversy in our day and age, like I think that's kind of where the issue is, oh, you're going to start conforming kids from such a young age. And that's kind of where I have read a lot of the negative feedback. I even saw a video with a guy that came out, and he's heterosexual, right? And he just said, gender stereotype is really hard for boys more than it is for girls, because girls can like monster trucks, girls can like dinos, they can like race cars, and sometimes they're considered tomboys, but for the most part they're tough, and you need to be tough. Girls need to be tough now. And it's such it's looked on with applause. But if a boy likes Barbies or ballerina or anything that's stereotypical girl things, anything pink and fluffy, then they're looked at as sissies. And so he said he feels, and again, this is a TikToker, I can't tell you his name, but he said it has been harder for little boys, with the gender stereotypes than it has ever been for girls. And that goes along with boys don't cry. But if you're a girl, it's okay to feel all your anger. And I also don't think that's true though, because I feel like girls were also stereotyped as in behave this way and don't do that, and you need to be a good girl and you need to be obedient. And so I think we're stereotyped either or. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard for a boy, but I can see where it can be. And I
Yeah,
think
that's a good point.
I think for boys with Bluey, when a little boy wears Bluey, now that people are finding out and it's being spread like it's a little girl, you don't judge the kid, but I think people are judging the parents. Like, well, that's a little girl, and you're letting him wear little girl clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And
But it's on the boys' clothes
that's what I
too.
mean. It's in the boys
Yeah.
section. That's why I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
Bluey until after. And JJ didn't take for it for the mere fact that I do not tell my baby anything about gender. He's 2.5 years old. I know people, and I have seen that a lot of parents have gender conversations with their child. I did not. I do not. I do not plan on having one anytime soon. I just kind of let him be him, and he's at the age where he's just exploring. He doesn't care one way or another about gender. Like, he has Play-Doh of all colors.
In terms of what he likes.
Right. And he
Yeah.
naturally just likes, and again, maybe it could be because for birthday parties he's gotten a lot of like stereotypical boy stuff, but he just likes dinos and dragons, and his room is dragon, but it's not, I wouldn't say masculine colors. It's very neutral, and it has more like
Mm-hmm.
fairy tale dragons, like just very nice neutral dragons, but because I was hoping for a sibling down the road, and I didn't want to make it one color over the other because I planned for them to share that room, but he just likes things that fight. Like, that's just who he naturally is.
Yeah.
And like, he likes Ninja Turtles, he likes Thundercats, which is an old cartoon, because I'd rather we watch older cartoons because of the animation versus now, right? And he likes Dragon Ball Z. Like, we put Bluey, and he's like a little bored because they're not fighting. But it's not just that. I watch Moana, I watch Little Mermaid in front of him. It's not like I hide girl things. He's just not into them. He likes when
Yeah.
King Triton is fighting. He likes things like that. Like, he's just into that. Um, but I don't know. What about you? Are
Yeah.
you gonna
They
have a
like what they like, you know. Maddie has a play kitchen. She loves to hang out in that play kitchen. It's a pink kitchen. Does that mean it's just for girls? I don't think so. They like to do what they see the adults in their lives doing, what they see their parents doing. You know, she loves to pretend she's cooking, and she has all her little pots and pans, and she opens the oven and, you know, does what she needs to do, and she goes in there every morning.
yeah.
Is it because she's a girl and she's, you know, drawn to the kitchen? No, it's because she sees me get up every morning and go to the kitchen and take out the pots and pans, and you know, that's just what she likes. It's what she likes to do. They want to copy us.
Yeah, and even speaking of that, JJ loves to cook. Both him and his dad, my husband, we love cooking. And we went over to Stephanie's, and the first thing he did was go play with Maddie in her kitchen, because we don't
Yeah.
have a kitchen for him. We want to get him a little grill outside with his dad, because his dad loves to grill, and we just want to make that area Daddy's area, and he wants to get him a grill just to match his.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm okay with getting him a kitchen because he loves the kitchen. But yeah,
And same thing, I would be totally fine with getting Maddie a grill because Saul was constantly grilling, and I think that she would also love to pretend to grill. You know, they're just so little
they don't know.
that it doesn't matter. Yeah. And so maybe things are pink and in the girl section, and you know, blue and in the boy section, but I at this age I don't feel that it even needs to be a
Well,
question. You know, they just want what they want.
right, and that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you, because I've seen a lot of parents saying that it is important to have a gender talk with your toddlers from the age 2 to 4. Would do you plan on having a gender talk? I don't. JJ's already 2.5, and I don't. I'm like, we're working on potty training. I don't. He sees me, like, he's seen me pee. He sees his dad, and he copies both of us. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't notice.
I mean, I do think it's important as a, I guess for any kid, but as a woman, you know, and as a young girl to like be comfortable with your body and all of your body parts and know what everything does. And, you know, because like you get to an age where you're going through puberty or you're, you know, having a baby or whatever the case is. And, you know, if you're not well educated on what's going on, I think that can be really uncomfortable. So obviously, like age appropriate
That's what I mean. But
conversations,
a
but yeah,
toddler, they're having
yeah.
gender
For
toddler. I don't know.
but what do you mean? Like this is your body part. You know, this is where we go
So
potty. Like I think that's pretty appropriate.
yeah, I think the conversations that I've seen have been more around, like, it's okay to like blue. It's okay to wear dresses if you like dresses, like telling little boys. Um
Oh
like
no, I don't think any of
je-
that has to be a conversation.
right, like gender identity as a toddler
Yeah,
has been such a hot topic, and again, this is ages 2 to 4. And I mean, I just don't plan on having a gender conversation.
Oh
I kind
no,
of just
me
let
neither.
JJ be JJ, and a lot
Yeah,
of his clothes, we've been blessed that we get so many for his birthdays that they last around, but even if we buy some, I don't think he cares what he wears. Like I don't
yeah,
think he pays
exactly.
attention. I don't think.
Yeah,
And again, he's 2.5. I don't know if you've seen this lately, but I saw a video, and I saw several videos actually, where there is a lot of negativity with gender reveal parties now. And a lot of people are saying that they're very inappropriate because you cannot give a child a gender. And if you do, it's only to condition them into societal stereotypes. And so gen
that's a little much for me.
so gender
No.
reveals are even being looked down on, and I mean, I'm a little flabbergasted. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a little too much. Like, um, and no, I don't think we have to tell these toddlers like you can only like pink. This is what we're going to play with. We're going to have Barbies and we're not going to have anything else in this
Right.
house. Like no, that doesn't have to be an issue. That, like I've said, multiple times in this episode, they're kids, they're babies, they can like what they like, and it doesn't have to be a question. The gender reveal, though, no, pink is girl, blue is boy. Like that's been that way for however long that they've been announcing
And
babies. I don't think there's anything wrong with
well, and I
that.
think you can choose your own colors. Like my cousin, I did a gender reveal for her. She wanted dinos, and she said, for the inside bread, if it's a girl, I want it to be gold. If it's a boy, I want it to be red because that's her husband's favorite color and she likes gold. And
Oh, that's
and that's
cute.
what we
Yeah,
went
that's
with.
their
Like,
own spin on it.
right. And so it ended up being a little girl, so she had gold inside, and she has two girls. And so, but yeah, so I'm like, okay, if you have problems with blue and pink, then choose other colors. Like, make your own
Exactly. If that's
colors.
something someone wants to do, and they have like a personal reason for it, like I love that, using your favorite colors, then cool, make it your own. But to feel pressured because society says that gender reveals are assigning whatever, like a
Identities.
gender, an identity to the baby, no, that's your kid. You do what you want.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you feel comfortable with. We're not here to
Yeah.
talk down on anybody, but again, I think because we're first time
I
moms.
do think that if that's even like the fact that that's an issue is weird.
Yeah, no,
With
there's so
that.
many videos. Go to TikTok because I was looking up. I'm like, okay, what gender expectations do we have for toddlers? Because you and I started with the Bluey talk, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was a boy. I mean, it was a girl. I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was a boy. And then we
Mm-hmm.
went into, I'm like, well, let's look at other things because we've heard a lot that, boys have a hard time with crying because they're told from the time they're little that it means weakness. And now we know that it doesn't, right? And so we've come a long way as a society, but we started that conversation and I started looking at gender expectations and yeah, gender reveals. There's so many of them, so many people that are just against them. They think they're cruel. And I'm like, it's really, I'm going to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
gender reveals is really for the parents to get
Yeah.
ready.
And the family and like to celebrate. I loved our gender reveal party so much. That's probably my favorite thing that we did throughout our whole pregnancy. So no,
And
they're
it's okay to praise if you have a little boy. It's okay to praise if you have a little girl. They're both so
yeah.
special in their own way. Like it's okay to know. It's not a bad thing. It really, for me, it really was a way to get ahead of the game and get prepared to welcome my baby and to make sure that I have
Yeah.
everything for my baby instead of, back then you had to wait. We're tired of freaking green and yellow. Like back
Yeah.
then you didn't know, and that's what all the kids had, like nasty green and yellow. And now you can choose. You can, if you have a little girl and you want her whole room to be blue, fine, then that's what you get ready
Mm-hmm.
for, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
and like you said, even with how you did JJ's room like pretty
Yeah.
neutral, it for the expectation of possibly having another baby. We're opposite. Like Maddie's stuff is pink and purple to the nines. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
we had another baby and it was a boy, they'd either be using pink stuff or we'd have to get more. And actually my husband and I have talked about that. Like our stroller is purple. Our infant car seat is purple. Like I know they expire. Who knows, how soon this would happen. But if we did have another one, like would we use that purple car seat? And I was like, that's fine. Like who cares? And my husband's like, no, they can't have a purple car seat. Like we'd have to get a blue one. So but I don't think it matters. Like have the purple, have the blue. Like, do what's best for you, but it doesn't have
Well,
to be
yeah, no,
it doesn't even have to be a conversation. Like you do what's best for you.
right,
I don't know why everyone's so up in arms about the
right.
assigning gender thing. Like that's so weird to
And I
me.
think because it's just rolling down from adults and teenagers and all of that, it's like an uphill battle and it's just all the little rocks coming down to toddlers. I'm like, leave the toddlers alone. let them
Right.
let them just explore and be who they want, and you can guide them as you feel fit to guide them. You are their parent. We're not here to judge anybody.
However,
Right.
yeah,
But
but if you are like I don't know if assigning is the word, but like pushing something on them one way or another because you see that they like a certain something and you're like, oh, then, I'm just gonna, that this must be who they are. No, they can't even talk yet. They're
well,
just kids. They can't decide that. They can't,
and
you
and it
know.
doesn't work. We've seen that it doesn't work. People are who they are. Like my mom would cry and cry because she wanted me to love pink. She wanted me to be a girly girl. I'm tall. She wanted me to be a model. She had all these dreams of me, be a cheerleader, have a quinceañera, and I was full on loved blue, loved sports. I loved football. I mean, she couldn't change me and I am still the same stubborn girl, now a stubborn woman, and I am who I am. And you can try to force things on kids, but they're going to end up being who they're going to be. So whether
Yeah.
you're forcing it one way or forcing it the other, like I really just let my son be who he is. And the other day we were at the store, he loves Mickey Mouse too. Not as much now. It was more like when he was one. He's kind of over Mickey again. He likes just shows where there's a lot of fighting. I didn't show him that. That's just what he likes. He
Yeah.
likes swords and he tries to do karate, and that's just JJ. Like he
Yeah.
tries to wrestle me when I'm trying to exercise and doing little ab works. Like that's just how his brain functions, and I'm not here to judge
Mhm.
him. But we were at the store. He saw Minnie. He said, Mom, Mom, Minnie. I gave him Minnie Mouse. He hugged her for a little bit and then he threw her off the cart and he was over it.
Yeah.
But it's not like I said, no, you can't have Minnie. Like I let him hug. To him, that's just
Right.
a little character. He doesn't know it's a girl or boy. And then he was over it, threw it. And
And you're not leaning into that like, oh, he likes Minnie now. I'm gonna just get a Minnie Mouse stuff. Like
right.
no, it's just what they like in the moment. They're constantly changing, constantly evolving. They're their own people. They're learning who they are themselves. And so I don't think we need to, like you said, assign anything one way or another. Just let them be who they are and like what they like.
Well,
And
even like Ninja Turtles, I told my husband, like Donatello's purple, right? Purple is a stereotypical girl color. And like even old cartoons, like they're just, and when he sees pink, he thinks pig. My son loves farm animals. So he
mm-hmm.
ties the color pink with pigs. Like that's just, they don't see gender. They don't, and I don't know why
Yeah.
adults are trying to force it on them. And yes, I get it. Like we choose their clothes and we dress them, but they really just don't see that. They see the
They don't even
innocence. Yeah,
care.
they don't
Yeah, what
even
they're wearing.
care. They don't
At
care.
this age anyway, Maddie still doesn't care what she's wearing.
JJ's two
Like,
and a half, and he doesn't
yeah.
care. He doesn't care what
Mm-hmm.
shoes he wears. He just wants to go outside and run. Like
Exactly.
he has several shoes and he doesn't care which ones I pick out. He doesn't care what outfit I pick out. He doesn't care how he looks. He doesn't have someone that he admires and wants to be like. He just loves to play.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, totally. So I actually think the gender neutral aspect of Bluey is pretty genius. Like also from a marketing standpoint, of course for the kids, but from a marketing standpoint, because everyone can love Bluey and the family, and wear the stuff and buy the merch and buy the toys and whatever. And
And
I
and
love
it's
it. I
okay
love
to have
Bluey.
a girl be the superhero, like the main character. It's okay. It's not We're not breaking generations, or maybe they are breaking generational curses or thoughts or whatever, but it's okay, people. Like
Yeah.
it's not the worst thing that's ever happened. There's far more worse things happening. But I did see a lot of Bluey is they're trying to condition children. And I mean, it's not like the boy clothes that has Bluey has, they're not wearing tutus and they're not wearing tiaras. They're just a little blue dog with a smile on a blue shirt. Like
Yeah.
it's his Bluey.
Mhm. Right. It's funny though because like I said at the beginning, there's so much controversy around Bluey. The main thing that we were going to focus on was the gender part of it, but um, more things for people to get mad about because people love to get mad about everything. That the parents and the show is setting false expectations for parents, like that the parents are doing too much basically, and that it's setting false expectations for parents and kids that are watching the show. And you haven't actually
Yeah,
seen a
that's what I
lot
was
of
like.
it, so
So
this might not make sense
so
to
fill
you.
me in, girl.
But like they are just very involved. Every day there's a new game to play. Every day there's a new and it's all, a lot of it's pretend, a lot of it's imagination. They play hotels. The dad lays in the room and the kids wait on him, and he goes and checks into the hotel, and they, set up the room for him. And they really, the parents really play into the kids' ideas.
Their
So like there's an
imagination.
imaginary friend, and the parents are pretending that the imaginary friend pushed them. They're very involved, and I love it. I love that it's like that. But people are getting hurt that it's setting false expectations for parents and that parents can't be doing that much. And it's just, that's so crazy to me. Like that people are angry about it. There's literally been articles written about it because people are so mad.
Yeah, I don't agree with that because I am like that with JJ. We give in to all of his whims and imaginations, and when he wants to cook, he wants to cook, and he'll come and play, and he'll play pizza. Here's pizza, and then we'll eat it, and then he'll run along, and then whatever he wants to play, we do fit into his imagination. Primarily because they're only young for so little. Like
Yeah.
he's already, we're potty training him, and I'm like, how is my son going to be 3 when I remember
Mm-hmm.
begging and begging for a child for years, and now he's almost 3? Like,
Yeah.
that blows my mind. They grow up so quickly, so I am going to give in to all his whims. There are also 2 of us, I will say that, my husband and I, and we take turns. And so I could see where some parents, especially single parents, have a hard time when they have to have 2 jobs, or they're just tired from work. But if you,
I think it does a really good job though, even in that the parents work at home and it's like, nope, I gotta take this call. I have to go work out. Like there's an episode where the mom's like, I need 20 minutes where nobody bothers me, and she leaves and dad picks up at that point. So yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe, for a single parent household it might make you feel, a little, I don't know, I guess inferior is what some of these parents are saying. Um, but overall, it's very family friendly. They're 7-minute episodes, so like I think we can all take 7 minutes out of our day and play a little pretend game with our kids.
well,
you know,
I this is what I tell
so
myself too, though. I'm like, if we can get on our phone, no matter how tired you are, you manage to get on your phone for at least 1 hour a day, realistically, probably 3, 4, 5 hours,
more,
right?
yeah.
And if we can just put that down and just spend that undivided attention with your child, and it doesn't have to be the full 3 hours because you need to unwind or whatever excuse you want to give, or whatever, right? I'm not here to judge, but if you can just spend 30 minutes or an hour with your kid, just undivided attention, it will change their world and your world. And I am like an involved parent, so I will always stand up like for that because I am very involved in my son in a lot of things that we do. And we work full time, and I have a husband, and I do cooking and cleaning, and my husband does his chores. We have our own chores, but I still make sure that I put my phone down or I put whatever down to really just spend time with my son. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not 24 hours, right? But there's still some time that you can do, like you said, just 7 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes. Do
Actually read a study, I don't know if it was a study, an Instagram post, whatever it was, that said if you can just give your kid, especially when they first wake up in the morning, 15
Oh, I
minutes
read
of
that.
undivided attention. Maybe you sent it to me. 15 minutes of undivided attention first thing in the morning, that emotionally like regulates them for the day. They know you're there. they've gotten that, initial connection that they needed. And, so yeah, who can spend, 8 hours constantly,
It's
focused and
exhausting.
playing with your kid? Nobody can do that. Everyone has to, you know, have a life and contribute to the household and work and do whatever you have to do. But just little chunks of undivided attention, like you said, off the phone, I think, off the phone especially, because I feel like that's the biggest distraction that we have, can make a huge difference to them emotionally and just as they grow up
Yeah.
and, learn to regulate and,
Yeah, it's prioritizing your time because and that
yeah.
study was 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes after school or during bath time, like if they're babies and you have to bathe them, not if they're older, obviously. And then 15 minutes before they go to bed. And
Yeah, that's what it was.
they get the 3 15 minutes, that's 45 minutes, and they feel regulated and comforted and loved, and they feel important. If you can
Mm-hmm.
just spend actual time with them, as in be present, don't be thinking other things sitting next to them, don't have your headphone on, your earphone, whatever it's called, hearing a podcast, except unless it's Monday, living in the moment. But no, really, just spend time with your child, undivided attention. 15 minutes 3 times a day is what that study said, and it'll change their world and their self-esteem and their self-love, um,
Yeah.
because a lot of their self-love comes from the love that you give them. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
people, as they get older, have mom issues or dad issues or whatever parental issues, because a lot of the love that they need to feel come from the people they came from, the people that made them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me think if there was what other. Oh, and then I talked a little bit about these initially. Just another controversy that comes out of Bluey is like that some of the episodes focus on material that is not like suitable for kids. So I think at one point they had even pulled these episodes off the Disney Channel or Disney Plus, whatever. I don't know, like I haven't looked well enough to see if they're still off, but this was just as of last year. The body image issue one they took off, and I'm guessing that that episode is just the aunt saying that she wants to lose weight, and then she eats a whole bag of chips. And basically, it's tying it to the fact that she's trying to wean her baby off of sucking his thumb, and she like puts a cone on him, a little cone of shame, so that he can't suck his thumb. And I don't even know. Muffin might be a girl. I don't know if Muffin's a boy or a girl. Same thing because that show is just so like neutral. But anyway, she puts a cone on him and he can't suck his thumb, but she's over there like, oh, I really need to stop eating chips, but then she eats the whole bag of chips. And so then, what does that say for like, I think that's a great example. What does that say for what we're expecting of our kids when it's hard for us to break habits as well? Like we can't just expect them to do things at the drop of a hat. But I feel like that's the body image issue that they're probably talking about. There's a miscarriage issue where the aunt has infertility, and that was another one that they said was an issue. Like she hasn't seen Bluey and Bingo in 5 years because she's sad because she can't have her own kids. Again, they don't overtly say that, but that's the gist of it. And so I don't know. I just that's crazy to me too. Like, why are you going to literally pull these episodes off air that are very appropriate for kids because they're not getting this? That's not what they're getting out of the episode. If anything, that's for the parents and for the parents to take some a little advice from Bluey too.
I mean, I feel, and I wish I would have prepared better because I didn't know this was going to be a topic, but I feel like so many of the cartoons we watch in Disney, and maybe you guys feel free to name a few, were so inappropriate. But we didn't
Yeah.
think of the
Mm-hmm.
inappropriate parts of it. Like we just saw the innocence of it because a child thinks innocently. And
That's a really good point. That look at the shows that we come from and some of the jokes that were in there and things that come up. And you just never, A, they were worse than what I'm bringing up is in Bluey, but B, as a kid, you don't even register that. So,
and I feel like even like the point that you made, like she ate her bag of chips, that's guilty as charged over here, because even in like the last episode, I'm like, we're over here sneaking red velvet cupcakes in the laundry room, and JJ can't have any, and that's because we can get away with it now. Will we be able to get
mm-hmm.
away with that forever? No, because they follow their examples, and so eventually we're really gonna have to knock all this horse playing around, like right now we can still get away with little things because he doesn't understand, but sooner or later he is going to understand. So it's really training
Yeah.
ourselves. And that episode is just calling parents out. Like, that's real life, people.
Exactly. Yeah. And so again, why is it a thing for everyone to just be mad about something constantly? That seems to be the newest, I don't know, trend, to constantly have something to be angry about
Complain
and
about.
upset about and complain about things that have nothing to do with you. Like you just want to make them about yourself. Like that seems to be what everyone likes doing these days. So
Be happy, people. Find
yeah.
happiness. Leave children alone. Leave,
Let
toddlers
them be
alone.
who they are. Yeah.
Yes, let everyone just stop. Like, just stop. Take a breath. Go for a walk. Drink some
Touch
water.
some grass.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. Touch some grass. I love that internet saying.
Yes, get
It's
grounded.
so true. Get outside. Exactly. Like get off the internet, get off the phone, whatever the
Yes,
case
get some sun. Like, go stretch
is.
your legs, your arms, whatever. Stretch whatever you want. Just leave children alone. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
so true. And their shows and the things they like, leave them alone and let them like what they like. So anyway, yeah, if you guys have any input, as always, comment it down below. We love when you guys get involved in the conversation. And actually, this is just a shout out. If any of our mom friends want to come on, please let us know. We would love to have, more guests. We have a bunch lined up, but if anyone, specifically wants to come on, we're not going to go, harass you down, but we would love to have anyone, come on, and anything can be a story. We can
If
we
you
can talk
have
to you guys about
any,
anything.
yeah,
So
any mom hot topic, and there are a million,
yeah,
we would love to come, have you on and go back and forth with you. I mean, we're pretty, I don't want to say we're neutral because we're not. We just have a deep understanding and love of people, but we're also first time moms. So we're learning as we go. And
yeah,
we,
totally learning about the world, and so we'd love to hear
and
your story.
yeah, so a lot of things are new to us. Like, I've never thought about what kids are watching until now because I have to, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, so definitely let us know if you guys have any interest in coming on. We would love to have you. Like I said, we do have a bunch of guests coming up as well. And as always, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, YouTube. Continue to watch and share. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Living in the moment, it's the mom life.